you here to learn about nutrition and bodybuilding? Well, you just sit out, my friend, and I'll give you an earful. But if he doesn't say it, and he's tested, he's barred from competition. He's got a dilemma. Some guys will take a chance, but a lot of guys will say, I'm not going to use it. It'll be a lot more effective than the laws they're making against it. Now, I personally, steroids is progress. You can't stop progress, but you got to control it if you want to control it properly. And control it to the point where you don't make criminals out of these guys. You know, I know how I was driven, and I know damn well, I don't give a damn what law they made. If I was competitive, before I got hurt, I would have taken steroids and told them to shove it up their butt. Because I wasn't about to sit back and watch a guy leave me in the dust because I don't want to be illegal. It's too much. They can take that damn laws and shove it up their backside. They try to throw it, they never learn. And what angers me is those 3-cent politicians, they have no concept of what it's all about. They don't understand anything, and they figure they're off the hook by saying it's illegal. So the mothers cry about it, well, we made it illegal. And the kids can get it anyhow. And you know, kids will be pretty frightened to use that when they say, geez, they find out I won't be able to compete anymore. And from the schoolyard to the competitive field, you have to admit, you get questionnaires, did you take it if you take it? If you don't, and if you don't admit it, you're barred. And we find out you're barred from athletic sports 3 to 5 years. Much more effective. So that's my take on steroids, but they are effective. And I think that if you're willing to use it, and it does work. I remember when it first came out, these idiot doctors weren't giving enough and saying that. I remember when guys, they were saying, oh, why take it, don't work, and guys are blowing up in front of you. And they said it wasn't using enough. They didn't know these bodybuilders was using steroids like gumdrops. They didn't realize that. And Diana Ball was the first ones that I knew of. And what made me, I saw guys like Larry Scott, and I saw guys like Freddie Ortiz, and I said, hey, these guys, this isn't weightlifting. There's something else other than that. I mean, these guys are going to pump with air. And that's when I became aware of steroids. And I realized what it does and how harmful it can be, because the body is not designed to use it in the massive doses these fellas are using it. And now, I mean, you don't hear much about it, but these guys are killing themselves. They're killing their joints, they're killing their internal organs, and mostly the heart. I mean, we got guys, it breaks my heart to see these young guys getting the triple bypass, the quadruple bypass. Unheard of. When we trained for health. It was a health thing. And you know the difference why these guys take these steroids that bothers me. All the bodies are the same, like cookie cutters. You have to look good to see who's who. Muscles in your gluteus maximus. I mean, come on. When we were training, the bodies were so distinct that you could put your hand over the face of a bodybuilder identifying by his body alone. Clarence Ross, Steve Reeves, George Eichmann, all these guys. Their bodies are so distinct. There's no distinction now. Now you got to stare up to see who's who, because they're all taking that stuff. And you know what? I would love for them to say, if you don't admit it, and they're all lying, say they don't take it. I mean, you look and see they take it. If you don't admit it, you're barred from competition. They won't take it, and then we'll see some human bodies and said these freaks. You can't relate to these guys. You can't relate. No average person can relate to those guys. They look at them like they're in the zoo. Nobody says, oh, I want to look like that. They're ruining the game with this stuff. But that's the way it is. I don't know if it'll ever, things usually don't go back and either die or whatever. But bodybuilding is nothing like it used to be. You got a lot. It's almost like a cult now, because the average person cannot relate. Men's physique sells more than all other bodybuilders magazines put together, because you know why? They got those guys that pumped up with that juice. There's something you relate to. But all that said, I don't knock the fellas for taking it, and I'm not deriding the fellas for taking it. I understand the psychology behind it, because all I do is relate to myself. I was obsessed with building my body, absolutely obsessed. It amazes me how obsessed I was when I look back at it. and I knew that it would be no stopping me. Here I had these big 19-inch arms ahead of everybody at the time, and they're going to tell me that some guy taking some pills is going to outstrip me and I'm leaving me to dust? No way. But that's my take on steroids, and you can take it the way you want. I tell you what I advise though, unless you, I don't want to be saying something that's unlawful, but unless you're really in a competitive state that you got to use, don't use it. You don't need to. The things, the kind of supplements they have today almost mimic it. It isn't exactly, be exactly like steroid, but almost mimic it. Maintaining positive nitrogen balance. You take glutamine, it's not as effective as steroid, of course. But these are the kind of things we didn't even know about in our day. So don't be, for kids to be taking this stuff thinking that they can play with it, it's counterproductive. Serves no purpose. Unless you're in a highly competitive sport where you maybe can slide by. I don't even want to talk to those guys. Those guys are there making up. But the average guy to use steroids is stupid, in my estimation. I've said my piece. You got to stop me sometime.